Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the movie The Great Mouse Detective. Now, this had come on, and it was like on freeform, so I recorded it. It was saying it was like 90-some minutes. Its runtime is actually like 70-some minutes. So, that's kind of what you got here, and I remember seeing this as a kid, and was like, okay, let's kind of check this out and see what kind of goes on. And you have to be careful because I do remember some of the scary kind of aspects with like Fidget and Ratigan, these kind of characters that kind of go on with this. And it's like, you gotta be careful. There could be nightmare fuel for kids if you don't kind of talk it through with them and everything. But it's still a really good animated movie that I don't think a lot of people talk about too much. I think mainly because it apes Sherlock Holmes, but I think it's a good kind of one of like, oh, we like Sherlock Holmes. Let's see what kind of goes on with like mice and stuff like that. And it's also a kind of gateway into that as well. Oh god, there was that one kind of dog that also did kind of ease points into certain kind of fairy tales, like Sleepy Hollow and whatnot, and kind of urban legends, and those kind of stories. I think this is a really good one that eases kids in because they're like, oh, okay, this is done as like a mouse, but still within the world of Sherlock Holmes as well, which I think is really kind of great. And they even posthumously use the voice of one of the great actors of Sherlock Holmes in this movie. And it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. So, we get introduced and we see that we're in the Flaversham's toy kind of shop. We see that the father is kind of talking to his daughter Olivia and trying and pretty much giving her like a present and everything. Let me see. Olivia, yes. However, we then get introduced to Fidget, this bat that has a peg leg, and this was kind of a creepy kind of scene because even though there wasn't any blood, it kind of very much gave me kind of ideas of blood because there's a giant kind of commotion. Olivia's shut into a cupboard to kind of protect her. Then she comes out, we see paint and everything kind of everywhere, the shop in shambles, and her just trying to figure out what's kind of going on. Then we get introduced to pretty much the Watson character. David Q. Dawson, a retired army surgeon mouse returning from Afghanistan. Of course, linking up with Sherlock Holmes kind of stuff. And the funny thing is we look like that him and Watson are pretty much on the same kind of carriage thing, as he's trying to pretty much find lodgings and figure out what's going on before coming across a booth that's got Olivia in there, and she's like, my father and everything, and my heart was breaking for her. And then Dawson's like, shit, let me help you. She's trying to find Basil, the great mouse detective. And they, of course, get to the lodgings, and we see that the housekeeper's like, oh, just come in. You're going to just wait for him in here. As they're trying to figure out what's going on, he busts in this weird-ass fucking outfit with a gun and everything going on. Yes, I got this. I'm in the middle of my shit. And we see all these different kind of things as it's like, oh, okay. He then, like, fires this gun into these pillows, and she's like, oh, and the housekeeper's like, why'd you do that to my good pillows? As she's trying to get, like, cheese crumpets to Olivia and all that kind of stuff, and she's trying to get his attention. She's like, hold up. And he's trying to match the stuff with the bullets. He's like, damn it. I could have had Ratigan like that. And she then starts going into a spiel and then brings up Fidget. He's like, wait a minute. That fucker's an associate of Ratigan. Ratigan pretty much being like the Professor Moriarty of this. And the thing is, I love that Basil of Baker Street is underneath Sherlock Holmes' kind of stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. Do you have something that could kind of like work out in this kind of thing? And pretty much trying to use this dog Toby to kind of find him. We shift over and we're like, okay, why would this dude want a toy maker? Pretty much to make a replica, clockwork kind of automaton for the queen. It's like, okay, what are you trying to do here? Pretty much replace the queen with this replica and become the ruler of Mousedom. It's like, yep. Typical, like, the plot isn't that, I mean, it's complex enough of them attempting to figure out everything kind of going on, but it's still more focused to children. So it's not that in-depth of, like, a Sherlock Holmes kind of mystery. Like, okay. Vincent, like, the voice acting for this is great. But I did not realize when I was younger that it was Vincent Price doing Radigan, and he's just great. The way he pronounces shit, how he goes and facilitates between like the refined nature of Radigan, who is a rat here. Evidently, he is a mouse in like the book series that this is based off of. Just trying to be that refined kind of person before being like. So we see him kind of just like busting out, and we got some good numbers. The Radigan kind of ling, as they're like, oh yeah, the best criminal mind, as one of the drunk people calls him a rat, which you shouldn't do. And then he has like his pet cat eat them. It's like, oh shit. He also tries to feed Fidget to her a couple times, but like he just survives. And we see that he has given him a list that he has to go through, having to get soldier uniforms, gears and stuff, get the kid, all this kind of stuff. However, Toby the Hound is able to find the trail. I really love that Basil's got to kind of work on Toby to actually kind of focus, but likes Olivia, and she like feeds him like cheese crumpets and shit, and he's like, yeah, you good. And doing belly rubs and shit. It's like, cool. Funny kind of bit. I do like the kind of cartoon aspect where when Toby kind of like saves them later on, his ear turns into steps and everything. I'm like, that's always good. There's a good distinctive art style to this that's like, okay, I like this. Let me see here. Okay, that's kind of a bad picture, but that's kind of what it kind of works out to. And I'm like, ooh, that's kind of cool. It came out in 1986, yes. Now, they do try and they track down Fidget to pretty much this toy shop. They're trying to sneak around, however, they're not being as stealthy as they could be. Fidget, like, sets off a lot of stuff and is able to capture Olivia as they kind of buck out. And Dawson really is beating himself up for letting her get captured. Basil is attempting to kind of go on him, but sees that Dawson's already doing that himself. And is like, don't worry, we'll do this. He's able to get the list, do this kind of crazy-ass Holmesian stuff to pretty much figure out that it would be down by this kind of, like, wharf pier kind of place. They try and be these kind of, like, ruffians that would fit in that kind of place. But it doesn't really work out that well. I mean, Dawson pretty much gets drugged up by these motherfuckers. Fidget does pop in and kind of goes in as they try and, like, follow him and see what kind of goes on. We get another kind of musical number that you think would lead to like a femme fatale or whatnot, but we don't have that in this story. So they pretty much just follow Fidget, but then get captured by Radigan. It's like, oh yeah. See, Radigan I'd seen, was told about everything like that, was pretty much holding Olivia over Flaversham's head to kind of finish everything up. And he's like, wait a minute, I can use this. They pretty much know Basil's coming, so that's how they kind of capture him. Do this Rube Goldberg machine to pretty much kill them, and like Basil is just beside himself. He's like, he beat me, the game's up, we're fucked over. It's like, then why don't we just set it off and end it? And I was like, yes, and does this completely crazy thing to set off the traps early because they were going to get shot, slammed by a mouse trap, shot with like a bow and arrow, crossbow, shot by an actual gun, slammed by like an anvil and shit, but they're able to do all this, get Olivia, and buck it to Buckingham Palace to try and save the Queen because they're doing this on her Diamond Jubilee. So they replace the guards. They pretty much replace her, trying to set up Radigan as the supreme ruler of Mousdom, saying all these kind of stuff. It's like, number 1, and then number 99. Like, oh God, I just fucking love it. Toby chasing Felicia as everything's kind of going on. Let me see here. But our trio are able to get Flaversham out of there and pretty much say some bullshit and also save the Queen as Radigan's going kind of nutty-doo-dah. But he gets out in a dirigible that Fidget's pretty much powering, holding Olivia still hostage, and it's like, oh shit. So they're able to kind of pretty much use the Union Jack and these balloons to kind of go after them, and Fidget's like, yeah, we should like toss some weight overboard, pretty much wanting to toss the kid. Radigan's like, how about no, bitch? And then pretty much chucks his ass off and then powers it himself. I'm like, yeah, you're probably bigger and could do some more kind of shit. As they pretty much crash into Big Ben. And Basil's able to get Olivia out of there before Radigan pretty much just goes into a bestial kind of nature, which is kind of nutty. See, when Fidget's introduction and certain kind of things would be kind of bigger, kind of scaring of kids, this is another kind of element where they're like running through and it looks CGI kind of stuff with like the clockwork and everything going on. It's like, holy fucking shit. And it still looks pretty good. But Basil's able to wait for the clock to strike 10, and this, of course, discombobulates Radigan as he's pretty much beating the shit out of Basil, and then he gets knocked down. And it's like, that's a long fall when you're human. When you're when you're like Mouse, it's like, ooh, that's going to be shit. Basil's able to save himself by using the kind of back end of the dirigible to make this kind of helicopter thing to kind of like go back up to his peeps and save himself. Let's see. So they say goodbye to Olivia, and they're like, yeah, we're going to miss her and everything. And Dawson is thinking about like leaving himself, and Basil's like, but we make such a good team. Before another person comes in and asks for their help, and Basil's like, yes, both me and Dawson and everything. And Dawson's like, really? And it's like, yeah, you're good. Pretty much showing the beginnings of the Holmesian kind of relationship and everything. And I think it works very well on this. Like, it's not the most complex thing. It won't keep you thinking throughout most of it. But to be honest, when you get a kind of movie like that, you only get that kind of once before you kind of like dig a little bit deeper, see other different kind of aspects and everything. But it's targeted toward kids. Now, kids aren't stupid, but I mean, you don't need an overly complicated plot that makes complete and utter nonsense, where Holmes has to do like essentially magic, esoteric, occult bullshit to attempt to divine what the fuck it means to actually get on something. You know what I mean? This is just basic. It's like, okay, toy maker, missing father of the missing girl. What's kind of going on? Oh, replace the queen. Comes supreme ruler. How do we stop these motherfuckers? Try and get to them before they're able to do it, and make sure we can save the queen in the process. Yeah, that's Holmesian right there. It's like, okay, let's see how this kind of works out. And I think it works out pretty well. I think the simplicity actually works for its favor to make sure that it works for the adults and the kids, so that way you're like, oh, okay, you've seen how Basil kind of goes through his stuff, similar enough to Holmes, also going down to like the violin and everything like that, and also accidentally sitting on it. He looks pissed off at Olivia, and I'm like, you are the one that put it in that chair, and you sat in it. Of your own volition. She wasn't telling you to sit down in the chair and anything like that. It's like, and I do like that he's got this adversarial thing of, you're coming into my space and you're changing my groove and my shit. But then at the end he's like, I like the kid and I like Dawson. And Dawson does help him because he helps, like in any kind of thing, Basil has his kind of own strengths of how he's able to try his stuff with deduction. However, he sometimes misses the forest for the trees, whereas Dawson's kind of can like think of it from another kind of perspective, brings up something that could probably be construed as really fucking stupid. However, it then works within his mind and does another kind of connection that can go off on there. That's why they make such a good team, and why it's pretty cool to see that kind of buck out here. And I'm just like, they could have just done all this kind of stuff and done. I don't know why Disney didn't do more on this to have more of a franchise. I mean, Kid Sherlock Holmes with mice? I mean, this was executed very well. And merchandising, motherfucker. Like, toys and shit. I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, yeah, you fucking killed Radigan, but I mean, how many times has like Moriarty and Holmes like killed each other and got brought the fuck back because fuck Arthur Conan Doyle wanted to make another book. I mean, it can be done. Sometimes it's fucking hard to do it, but it's like, so I would recommend this. Make sure you don't just like flash bomb a kid out of nowhere with the thing and you're like, hey, you ready for some nightmare fuel? It's like, fuck no. Know how your kid kind of handles it, but if you're into kind of the home stuff, I would definitely recommend this because, one, its basic premise, but also it shows its love for, homes as well. It's very evident throughout this whole thing. So those are my opinions on the movie. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.